Welcome everybody to tonight's show. We are talking about facing your fears and coming out the other side and just jumping in the deep end, and let's get this party started. We're going to talk about how to face your fears, what to do, why, and why is it so hard to just take the leap and get this business going. All that and any questions that you have, I'll answer those too right after the intro. Why is it so hard for people that take a course, or try to change course in their careers? Why is it so hard for them to take a leap and jump in the deep end, or jump in and at least get your toes wet, and either wading in from the shallow end or jumping into the deep end and just getting that going? It always amazes me. I was reading a statistic today and they said 4%, but I'm going to say 10% just to give more credit to those that take a course. But those that take a course, an online course, or changing careers that way, it's 10% or less of those that take that course for accreditation never take the leap and go through, fulfill that course, and then go on to utilizing it. I'm going to give you a great, hi Ember, hi Dad. I'm going to give a great example of Jack Canfield has a great course. It's Train the Trainer. If you want to be a trainer, if you want to be a coach, a life coach, it's a great course. But there were so many people. There was a call that we had today, and there were so many people on there, and they were saying so many people just have not completed it. They're afraid to take the final test and whether they're going to pass or not pass. And then there's some essays on how they're going to utilize it. And it's amazing to me. They had to egg them on to do it. They had to challenge them. They said, hey, you have 30 days to do this, and then we're going to throw in some bonuses and things of that sort. But it's amazing to me how many people don't fulfill that because they have this fear. I mean, look in her eyes. That's fear. She's debating life, right? Whether she's going to take that. And so there's fear that holds all of us back. Why is it so much more comfortable for someone to stay in a bad marriage, or stay at a job that they hate, or stay in that career that's not really fulfilling them? Why is it so much fear to make the change, to take the leap and go on to something else that's going to make them happy? I don't. So I throw that question out to you because only you can have that answer. You only know what it's going to take to fulfill your happiness. What is it going to do? Why is it so hard for us to take the leap? And I've been there. I've done it. And hi, Danny. It's, I've been there. I was married for 21 years and not happy, in a miserable relationship. Not that it was just miserable. So why do so many people, let's go with that example of why do so many people stay in a miserable relationship, hoping it's going to be better? I mean, the goals were different. I wanted to have a happy, fulfilling relationship. My ex-wife, wonderful person, but her goal was that it was the number of years, hash marked on the wall as far as how many years you were married. So to her, the goal was just, it didn't really matter the person. It didn't matter if you're happy. It was all that matters is that there was like this 40-year mark or 20-year mark or 30-year mark or whatever it was, these hash marks on the wall. And it's amazing that how many people will stay in something of that sort. And the same with careers. It's so amazing to me that on the call today, they're talking about with Train the Trainer, It's a fantastic course. It's not, you have to study. You have to really get involved. You have to do the work before you can teach the work. You can't just teach someone to hammer a nail into a board. You have to know how to hammer a nail into a board. And so it was amazing to me was as the talk was on Facebook today, as the talk went on, it was amazing to me that they were saying the same thing. They were like, don't worry about the fear end of it. Just lean into it. Just do it. Just start doing it with taking the tests and start, going forward and taking the essays and just do it. And they had to put out some offers of, let's get this done. And I'm going to tell you, if they're offering an incentive of some sort to get this stuff done, that means there's a lot of people. And I'm going to guess that probably 90% of the people that bought the course and started the course are sitting on their hands and not really sure, because it's a lot easier to just not try to complete this and not try to take the leap than it is to say you tried and you failed. And I get that, because then it's like, oh my gosh, am I a failure? Because with this, you're going to have to start going out. You're going to have to start doing something to get your name out there, to either do talks, speaking, classes, courses. That's what we're taking this course about, is to be a life coach, to be a keynote speaker, to get out there and spread the message of how you can make your life better. And that's why I started doing this show on Tuesday evenings, my gosh, probably 2 years ago or more. And you have to look within yourself. What is that fear? What is holding you back? What makes it more safe to you to be in misery than it is to take the leap of faith and be happy? Something is holding you back, whether that was something from when you were young, whether it was a teacher, whether it was a parent, whatever it was that somehow stuck it in your subliminal conscious, saying, I'm better off not trying and just sitting here all comfy and cozy in my misery. Because that's really what it is. You're fearful of what it could be, but I'm going to tell you this much. It's really cool on the other side. There's happiness. You're in control of your life. There's all these great things. And yes, it can be scary, because now you're in control of your life. Now, every decision you make, you are 100% responsible for that decision. And if it goes bad, it's a learning lesson. If it goes great, you can get all the applause and the standing ovations for everything going great. And then all of a sudden you're an inspiration to other people, and they come along and they start talking to you about how inspirational you are to them. I'm going to speak from experience on that. It's amazing how that can be. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. And before I get into that segment, I just want to tell you at the end of this, I'm going to tell you about, if you're starting a business or you're thinking about starting a business, I have a great course that's coming up. Self-promo. Hey, there you go. That's coming up in March, and it's going to be a wonderful thing. I teach you, I teach you how to fish. I'm not going to give you a fish. And I'm going to save you a lot of money. I'm going to show you it's a marketing toolkit that I put together. But before I get into that, don't fear. Don't ask yourself a couple of questions. What is it when you feel that? Go back to the original feeling. So if you have this fear of change, you have this fear of diving in and taking a leap, whether it's getting out of a relationship, whether it's taking the leap into a relationship, whether it's starting a business, whether, there's all different things that people are talking about and thinking about this time of year, because it's all the rebirth. When it comes to springtime in Wisconsin, it's rebirth time. So we're thinking about all the wonderful things. And then all of a sudden, if we don't start those habits in the springtime, if we don't get the momentum building in the springtime, what happens? We get to summer. We're in Wisconsin. We have about 3 months of wonderful weather that we can get out there and play. We start to play instead of keeping these habits going. And then all of a sudden fall comes. And then you're like, oh my gosh, Christmas is on the 25th of December again, and we start the whole thing over again. Come into January, February, and then we start going all over again, and we accomplished nothing in that whole year. So this year, let's make it different. Let's have a different plan this year, and let's start those habits now. Let's make the change now. Let's get the habits in place now. And by habit, I mean it's something you're going to do every day, a little bit every day, and then we're going to layer on those habits, whether you're starting a business, whether you're getting into a new relationship. And the new relationship can be with yourself. If you missed that last week's show, go back and check it out on Facebook right there. But as you face your fears and you're figuring out where that fear came from, where did it originate? Was it a teacher that put you down or told you couldn't do those things? Whatever it is, look at those fears inside. Where did it go back to? What's the original thing? And then we're going to make a change. We're going to make a change. We're going to dive. We're going to go skydiving, Rocky Mountain climbing, 2.2. Yeah. We're going to go and we're going to skydive, not in a figurative sense. I don't know if I would ever skydive. Someone's in there, maybe tandem. I might possibly, so my heart doesn't fall out of my chest, pound its way out of my chest. Excuse me. But we're gonna take the jump. This is the springtime. We're gonna take the jump. We're gonna get these habits in place so that by the end of this year, it's going to be a whole brand new life. It's not just going to be a great year. It's going to be the start. This is going to be the first year of a brand new life. And it starts out by just leaning into it. If you're going to start a business, we're going to lean into it. Let's just start with doing one habit. Many, many years ago, I had the idea of doing this for a living. And so what I did is I just started out, I was like, I'm going to start a business Facebook page. So I started a business Facebook page. And at that moment in time, I called it Run to Retirement, because I was afraid to put my name on it. Because if I put my name on something, then it was all about me. And so I called it Run to Retirement. I put that on there. And all I did is I started the habit of posting memes, positive memes. And I took them from Wayne Dyer and Gratitude Attitude Facebook page and different Facebook pages, and Jack Canfield and that. And they were just positive messages, positive memes that were out there. And so I knew that that's what I wanted to do, and I knew that it would start with building habits. So I just started posting these memes. Didn't really, no opinions, nothing other than that. I just posted these memes, these positive memes, and I started getting people that were attracted to that page. Now I'm upwards, some now around 1,500 or a little shy of 1,500 people that are likes on my business page. But that changes with algorithms and all that stuff. But anyway, so I started with doing just that habit. I'm going to post memes. And so I posted a meme like every 3 to 4 hours. And I figured out how to schedule those so I could do them a day or 2 days in advance or 3 days in advance. And then I started doing that. Then, couple of years ago, I started doing this show. So every Tuesday night, and if you go on my YouTube page or even on my Facebook page, I'm sure all these videos are there, or a bunch of videos are there. I started doing this show. So, and all this was about was ways that you could change your life, positive things to do. If you're starting a business, different ways to do that. I just started having this show and just seeing where it took me. So I added a Tuesday night show. So I'm posting memes every day, have that habit down. Then I do a Tuesday night show. And then recently I started a group for coaches on Facebook. And so that's a closed group. And it's mostly made up of people that have taken Jack Canfield's Train the Trainer course and are new and are going, okay, what do I do now? I got this certification. How do I get out there? What do I do? How do I do it? How can I market myself? And so I started that page. So I'm not it's not a group where I'm going to tell you, how to write a book or something of that sort. Because I haven't done that yet. I'm in the process of doing one, but I haven't done it yet. So I can't teach that until I've done it, right? So the other aspect is I can do marketing though, because I can teach you habits and ways to layer it. Now, if you're starting a new business, if you're changing a relationship, you're doing something, let's lean into it. And if you're doing it as far as a relationship goes, you're going to have to make the change. So whether that's you start leaning into that would be maybe looking for a different apartment, a different house, or someplace separate from where you're at, and severing that, being able to sever that relationship. But set a date, set a time, and then make it happen. And anything is possible out there. No excuses. If you think the rent's too much, then make it happen. Ask for a raise. Or get a different job someplace else that's going to pay you more money, that's going to be able to afford that house or that rent or whatever it is. Or go look at a different place, a different home, a different rent, and then start negotiating. You know what? Because if someone, especially with apartments, the price may be X amount of dollars, and you just go there and you say, hey, you know what? I can afford this, but I'm going to tell you what, I'm an honest person. You're always going to get it on time. You're going to get your rent on time. You're going to get all this. Start negotiating with them, because I'm going to guess that they'll probably do that if they want to fill that space. It's better to have someone that's going to be reliable, that's going to pay them a little bit less money than someone that's going to pay that they're going to take a chance on, and then maybe they're going to have to evict down the line. So, hi Kyle, how you doing? Welcome to be aboard. But that's leaning into it. If you're starting a business, test market make some of the product, or if you're life coaching, go and get a couple of clients. Maybe they're not even paying clients yet, but get some clients and start doing the work. It's that simple. It's really that simple. If you want to be a speaker, then go to your local library and say, hey, I want to book, I want to do a speech here, or I want to do training here for 2 hours or an hour, whatever it is. And if you're, do you have a room that I can do that in? And they all do. And as long as you're not charging people to come in there, they're certainly willing to reserve the room for you. Then you can invite some of your friends, you can invite whatever, wherever it is, or you can just do it in your home. But start doing it, lean into it, start making it happen, because at that point, now at least you're getting out there. People know what you're talking about, what you're doing, what your product is. If you're making a product, then go and start talking to people about it and selling it, or giving it out, hand it out to people. Danny asks, what about journaling so you can look back and strive to correct old behaviors? I'll go one step further. How about journaling? Great idea. How about journaling and then reflecting back on your journey so that you can enlighten and tell that story to other people and inspire them to do just as well as you or better. So many people on the call this afternoon with Jack Canfield, and in that group, the trainer closed group, so many people talk about how I wish I had this. I'm in my 40s, my 50s, 60s, and I wish I knew this when I was younger so that I wouldn't get there. I want to go back and teach in schools, or I want to talk to kids about this so that they can learn from my journey. And I always say this to them: that's wonderful and it's admirable, and if it works, do it. But how about talking to people like you that don't know this yet? How about gathering up some of your friends that you think might like this, being inspired? Danny says, amazing what I was getting at. Yep, exactly. That's, you're inspiring people right now. And they're watching you, and they're sitting back and they're watching what you're doing, and you're being inspired right now. I had a gentleman this afternoon. I don't think Lindsay will bother if I say his name, but Lindsay texted me this afternoon. He said, I just want you to know, thank you so much for everything that you do. You are more of an inspiration to people than you know. And I was like, wow, that was pretty cool. So, thank you, Lindsay. I thanked him for the compliment. And he's like, it's all you. He's like, I really, really appreciate everything that you do, and the inspiration that I give, and I love it. And that inspired me on to want to even say more tonight. And then in the group, Don is watching. Dad is watching. Thanks, Dad. But go and lean into it. Check things out, and just ask them what it would take. So if it's selling a product and someone says, well, I'm not really into that, just go, what would make you into it? what would make you want, something? Is it the smell? Is it a different smell? What do and start asking some questions. Same thing, if you're choosing a different career path, start asking at whatever your career is. Start asking people in that career and just saying, what would it take for me to get to that level? What would it take for me to make more money? What would it take? Ask those questions and then see where it goes. It can go nowhere, but you'll never know until you ask. Or all of a sudden they go, you're right, you deserve a raise. Whatever it is. So, which brings me to hope, love, and faith. That's all you need. That's all you need. That is what the ultimate motivation, inspiration for all of us here living our lives and giving it freely and the knowledge in that to others. It all circles around love. That's the only reason why we do it. We do it for our love of our family. We do it for the love of our, family, friends, people that are inspired by us. I do it for them also. Anyone that wants to get further, faster, that's what we do this for, right? Dad knows. Dad did it for all of us kids growing up. It probably was not the ideal job that he envisioned him as. There may have been something else he wanted to do. But he did it. He made sacrifices, but it was all for love, right? Love of family, love of and you got it. And where hope and faith come into that is just go out there and lean into it, or jump into the deep end, whatever it is. Make that leap and have faith that it's going to unravel itself. It's going to come to you. It's going to happen. But you got to take that leap. You have to do the work and just keep working. If you go out there, great example is right now with all the rain that we have in Wisconsin the last couple of days. We have some riverbeds that used to be ditches. But if we wouldn't have dug those ditches, we'd have no faith where that water is running to right now. And so you got to have faith. Yeah, sounds like a song. But we do it all for love, and you got to have faith, and you got to have hope that it's going to happen. And faith is, once you have the faith within you that this is all going to come to fruition, your dreams, your visions are going to come to fruition. It'll happen. It'll just happen because it's all based around love, and love is universal, and it's going to just make everything blossom and bloom. It's like the fertilizer of life. Couple of little points on that. How can you make it go faster? I know that came up this afternoon. How can we get this party started and make it go faster? Do a couple of things. One, make a specific list. So make yourself a specific list of those things. What do you need? How much do you need? If you need more money for a better house, how much money do you need to make? Write that down. Maybe put it on a vision board. Put a vision board up there. I know I got a whole nother story about vision boards, and a person that came on that I talked to this afternoon, or was messaging back and forth with this afternoon. But make a vision board. Put it on there. How much money do you have to make per year to make that happen? To make the new place happen? To buy the new house? Whatever it is. Write down what that is. Start with goals. Or if it's a career, what do you see what your career is? You know, if you want a better job, then write down what that is specifically. Because otherwise, you're just saying, I want something better. Well, what's better? No. Do you want to work, and there's nothing against this, I'm just going to throw jobs out. Do you want to be a sanitation worker? Do you want to be a garbage man or garbage person? You can do that. That may be what's better. So don't just throw it out into the universe that I want something better. That may pay better, but then you're like, I'm going to be out in the elements. I don't want to do that. Well, now get specific. Be very specific on what you want. And when you get specific, great things will happen. It just unravels itself. I'll give you a great example was with, I knew what I didn't want in a relationship. So I took the leap, even though I was nervous that I was going to be, people were going to think less of me or something like that. It didn't happen. By the way, it didn't happen. Some people were actually inspired by it. But took the leap of faith, got divorced. Then I made my list of everything that I wanted, because I knew what I didn't want. So it was real easy to start making the list of what I did want, because all you got to do is shift it to a 180, right? Okay. So I made my list of all the things that I did want, and just started going out there and living life. And lo and behold, what falls into my lap? Well, not literally, but Ember comes into my life. And who would have thought that would unravel the way that it did? Because she worked with my ex, and it just can't, it was a circumstance of me going into the store to drop off some things for the ex, and then her being there, and it just unraveled. But I didn't go in there intently for that, but I had my list, and I was pretty specific on my list, and voila. So make the list. What do you want? You know what you don't want. So then if you know what you don't want, flip it and make a list of everything that you do want. So many people waste all their time telling everyone what they don't want, their aches, their pains, their miseries, everything that they don't like and don't want. Well, flip it. Once you know what you don't want, flip it and write down, make a list of everything that you do want. I do want to feel 100% better. I do want a great relationship. I do want a better apartment or condo or home or whatever it is. I do want to live in a better part of town, or I do, whatever it is. Your do's. Write down everything that you do want, and have. And that's the first step, because now you're putting it out there. You're letting everybody know, and now you're going to talk about it probably to people. They're going to want to help you. They're going to find that they're going to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and all of a sudden it just starts to unravel. But it starts, as Danny says, let's get, journaling. Journal about your journey, but in there, how about on the first page, you put down everything that you want on that, or the front cover, or the inside front cover. Inside cover, you put down everything that you want. Look at that list in the morning, look at that list at night, and then as you get those things, maybe put a little star next to it, or cross it off, or put a line next to it, and watch that list get smaller and smaller, and everything happen. So, clock on the wall says my half hour's up. I enjoyed our time. Hopefully you enjoyed it too. If you want, share this with your friends. If you don't want, well, you're stuck with me next week again. Same time, same channel. I'll be here. 6:30 Tuesday nights. I will be here. Dave Stelma. Tell your friends. Call your enemies. Thanks. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
If you like this video, like my Facebook page or subscribe to my YouTube channel, or find everything at davestelma.com.